think there are a lot of questions to address, and it's very much a good trigger for researcher to go deeper. So I'd like to invite comments from the floor. Maybe I'll invite three comments first. Maybe okay. I can start with because it is very interesting. Like KAPET itself implemented in 13 areas, from south part to the east part of the region. And you said that you also use I don't know a specific data like the what you call nighttime intensity. And it is very interesting to see like the gap between the electrification in Kalimantan and also in Jakarta.
Yeah.
So it brings me a question. Like, I don't know. Electricity is the basic infrastructure that you need to provide when you want to boost the region, especially in Kalimantan, because KAPET in Kalimantan there's a central Kalimantan, East Kalimantan. So interesting to see. Do you think what is the reason behind the ineffectiveness of the KAPET itself?
Yeah. So I think that's really that's the key thing to work on for the next sort of draft of the paper. So I think that part of the challenge of Indonesia is it's a vast archipelago, and to have private sector development, you need to have a market. You need to be able to export your products trade your products from one island to another. You need electricity, communications, infrastructure, and I think many of these places at baseline potentially did not have good ports, good roads, and so even a small, or even a sizable tax subsidy can't encourage enough investment to kind of overcome some of these basic challenges. So I think that's one thing, and I think that trying to maybe I can use. I've got some data on roads, ports, getting a sense of maybe the program was more successful if it was located close to better roads or something like that. I think it's a good idea. I think that there's also this in the U.S. urban economics literature. There's been a lot of theory and empirical work to say these programs they're fundamentally flawed. That you should, instead of encouraging people to locate in some of these instead of encouraging development in some of these poor areas, you should actually pay people to move to the bigger cities, and they basically a lot of cities are too small, inefficiently small. So Jakarta is obviously potentially way too big, but maybe cities like Surabaya, Bandung, Medan, if we could get those cities a little bit larger, they would be much more productive. And so lowering, encouraging migration costs, reducing migration costs, and lowering the sort of housing costs for some of these cities would make them better. So I think, but there's a huge debate about the scope of these policies, and what's the right way to go.
Okay, it's very interesting. Maybe any more comments? It is good actually, Alex, because we're planning to study kawasan ekonomi khusus next year to support our flagship in research. So maybe some of Economic Research Center researchers can have comments or questions about what can we explore deeper next year. Fanti maybe or Arina?
I actually have a question, but on the model.
Yeah.
So the firm level panel regressions utilize incumbent firms. Is there
Yeah.
any the possibility of survival bias because they might be survive with or without KAPET? So have you taken into account survival bias?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, yeah, I guess I was interested in understanding the effect of the program on these firms that exactly that were in the program before. I think that I should probably try to understand which firms were exiting right around the program, and yeah, that's something I haven't thought about at all. Actually, is survival bias. So you're worried that maybe these are larger firms, or potentially some of the firms that were I'd have to think about how that would affect the estimates too. So I mean, potentially, causing me to, I think that's the thing. So survival bias would probably cause me to overestimate effects of the program. But because I'm not finding huge, strong effects, I'm a little bit less worried about it. But I should explore a little bit more about how the program affected entry and exit. Thanks.
That's a good idea. Any more? Rika?
Thank you, very interesting presentation and very comprehensive to provide with many models. But I would like to know about the conclusion. Do you come up at the earlier part you provide us with 3 graphically sample, which is diminishing returns, linear, and increasing returns?
Yeah.
Can you conclude which one is KAPET in this case?
Yeah. So this isn't necessarily KAPET. This is like Indonesia as a whole. What relationship between density and productivity. So the first part of the paper, I just wanted to see if KAPET worked at all. The next thing that I want to do with this paper is to try to estimate what shape this function looks like for Indonesia. To do that, I need I can estimate the productivity from a bunch of the firm level data sources, and I have census data. So I think I could do it for 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, so maybe 40 years. I think we want to really estimate this as flexibly as possible to see if there are nonlinearities, and use this across districts. I think this is exactly the question. Because if this looks linear, these policies are not going to ever improve welfare. If it looks like this, and there's diminishing returns at high levels of density, then there is some value in getting cities like Jakarta to become less congested, and in sort of moving people to other cities for sure. Yeah, I think it's a very good question. Thanks.
One more. In your result about demographic result, did you control it with transmigration effect?
With transmigrasi?
Yeah, transmigration.
Yes. I did not actually. So I could easily do that. Yeah. At the district level, my sense from studying the transmigration program is that for most districts, it was not a massive shock to the population. It's mostly at a very local, DESA level that, But I could certainly do that.
I think because one of the goals is to make
I think the other thing, as I was working on this paper, so seventh. Yeah, okay. So another reason to justify regional policies, I think, is that there's differences in housing costs. So basically the model, this is this RFC, this is rents, there's some constant plus the population size raised to this power kappa. So this is this marginal housing cost. If this varies across locations, then I think there can be benefits for moving people from high marginal cost areas to low marginal cost areas. So this is something else that's actually like important to investigate. I think the idea is that in Jakarta, building a new high-rise is extremely expensive, but and maybe in Samarinda, adding more people, yeah. So understanding the heterogeneity in this housing supply is another potential source of benefits to place-based policy. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe it also can be a consideration to move the capital city of Indonesia to other places. Maybe other comments? Maybe you can mention your name and affiliation.
My name is Wan. I'm a Diponegoro University student. As you stated, this is a preliminary studies. So my question is, how about your research limitation? And as far as I'm concerned, you have not stated your research limitation.
Limitations.
Research limitation. And the second one is your research suggestions, either for policy or next research. If I wanna get deeper for your research, so what your suggestion? And the third question is, as you stated that this is not a major success, but if there's some company or individual who profit, who is gonna be?
I see.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I think in terms of limitations, I think that, Lydia pointed out, this work just shows that there wasn't an effect, but I think the next step is understanding why. So maybe some places maybe some KAPET regions were more successful than others, understanding why those areas were successful and those other ones were not. I also think that, understanding if these policies are failed from the beginning, or actually if there is scope for designing them in certain ways, that's the sort of, I think, the next step. So I think yeah, the next question is like, if you're designing a regional policy, how would it look? Like, where would you locate firms? Would you move them to like Bodetabek, or like if you're reducing DACA in Jakarta, would you spread it to the suburbs? Would you spread it to Medan? Like understanding actually, like if you were interested in designing an optimal location of people and jobs throughout Indonesia, what would that look like? And how that depends on a lot of parameters of the model, but that's something you could potentially do if you could estimate all the parameters of the model. In terms of in general, I think this research, I think these are sorts of the next questions. Sort of like if you were to try to keep on doing research on regional policies in Indonesia. And I think who benefits from this program? What I see so far is that firms that would have located in these places if there weren't subsidies benefit. I think the other question is like, are these actually regional, are these based on a rational economic framework, or is it really political? So one thing I want to try to understand, especially with the KAPET program, but other regional policies in Indonesia, is in the U.S. What happens a lot of times to subsidize firms is you know, business will say, hey, like, I'm gonna leave. You better like reduce my taxes and you know, and the politicians are like, oh gosh, you know, we need your support, we need your jobs. Of course I'll reduce your taxes. And it's just, it's horrible, right? It's, I mean, it's a terrible, like, you know, policy from social welfare perspective. You know, in the U.S., in Indonesia, was this, you know, KAPET, like, was KAPET basically palm oil factories that strong arming governments or clove, you know, kretek manufacturers? Like, I want to understand the politics of these regional policies in Indonesia, because I think that that's a whole extra dimension where, you know, many developing countries are, you know, concerned about, you know, the politics of place-based policies.
Yeah, I think so, because that's why we need to have a further study, because I think there will be 30 cases of KAPET.
Mhm.
The success story, the success or failure stories.
Yeah.
Because every region has its own characteristics, political context, and also they merge each other to
Yeah.
define a people. After the decentralization, you know, local government very much play a role. So KAPET itself is central government program. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
good to know
Yeah.
deeper at the context
Yeah.
of the region.
Yeah, exactly.
Any more? Maybe from outside TV, I can invite Bapak Ibu from the front row. Bapak?
Thank you very much. I'm very interested in your research. My question about why you don't see to evaluate KAPET with indicator regional economic such as poverty, income inequality, and unemployment.
Yeah, I think these are all outcomes that I would like to look at, and I just need to work on the data. So I have some Sakanas data but I need to go back further for unemployment. Poverty is a little more tricky to measure. I think SNERU has poverty map data, but it's not, maybe it's 2000. Yeah, I need to like look at historical poverty map. Yeah, yeah. Inequality is also, yeah. I think Sam has some, my co-author has some inequality measures. Yeah, but I think, yeah, other outcomes totally worth looking at.
Yang lainnya, bagaimana? I think the comments is very much beneficial for.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Others, maybe? I don't know, Alex, because it's quite different between KAPET or kawasan ekonomi khusus in Indonesia with background in the US, right?
Yeah, so
So isn't it hard to compare and to find out the underlying factors that the free trade zone will be successful or not? Do you think what is the benchmark for KAPET or special economic zones that can be?
yeah, yeah, it's something I want to try to understand myself, because I think, yeah, place-based policies, they mean different things in different countries and contexts. So China's special economic zones was basically like trade costs, right? Which is a cost of production, potentially for if you're importing inputs. Here, this was tax incentives for locating in regions. It's actually more similar to what the U.S. government's, the state governments do to attract firms. So like Washington, the state of Washington has, Microsoft pays lower taxes to the state of Washington because, you know, Amazon, the same sort of thing. So it's very similar to that kind of policy. Whereas like the, historical place-based policy in the U.S., the Tennessee Valley Authority was really an infrastructure program. It was like building electrical power generation in the southern states. So I think understanding like a little bit more about how this tax incentive, and so there's taxes, but there's also a lot of like programs for SME assistance that probably the SEZs in China were not using. I think that's a huge important area of questions, and I'm not sure how much I can say about from this one particular policy. But I think that's really like, I was talking to my co-authors and we were saying we should try to evaluate different types of SEZs in different countries to see, what, if this is a tax incentive SEZ versus a trade incentive SEZ versus a, comparing to try to get a sense of what, what different effects work.
Terima kasih. Mungkin ada lagi dari Bapak Ibu yang ingin memberikan pendapat? No? Thank you very much, Bapak Ibu. It is a very great discussion. I would like to sum up a little bit about this study. The study is very much give us insightful results about the government program of KAPET. That even though it is not very much give impacts on the region, but I think there are much work to do to address this problem. Maybe I think the instrument itself, like Indonesia, the instruments is more like economic instruments with subsidies and tax. But as you know that Indonesia is very much diverse and with very much equipped with social values. Maybe government itself needs to address the other instruments to get its goals to address the problems of poverty and inequality, because KAPET itself is actually the program to address disparities among regions. So I'll close these discussions and